driving? I sure am. So I will not be looking at the camera unless I'm at a stoplight. And you may hear some country in the back. Holy guacamole! I think there's a huge fire. Oh boy. I wanted to give a quick, not update, but as you all know, I have gone natural. I make my own products for the most part. It's been about two years actually that I have made my own deodorant because there are so many chemicals and parabens and toxins in deodorants, and I went on natural and I didn't want to put any sort of chemicals in my body. So my combination that I use is beeswax, baking soda, essential oils, and something else. I have the recipe at home. I have a book I make notes of everything that I make. Right now, I cannot think of the other ingredient that I use. The thing for me, though, is I tend to get immune to a lot of different things, whether it be, I don't know, like maybe a certain kind of hair color when I used to color my hair, a certain kind of lotion, it wouldn't work anymore, a certain kind of soap, it wouldn't cleanse anymore. Oh, face washes. When I used to buy face wash and facial scrubs and all of that fun stuff that used to be fun until I found out about all the chemicals, I would become immune to witch hazel. It just didn't clean my skin anymore. So many different, clean and clears and Cliniques, all that face stuff. I would use it for a time, whether it be a few months or a year. Maybe sometimes I could use it, was probably the longest, and then it just wouldn't work anymore. So with that being said, before I started using or making my own deodorant, I used pretty much the worst of the worst. I used Certain Dry, the roll-on kind, which is clinically proven to make you not sweat. So as you can imagine, that completely clogs your pores. There's no way for you to detox out of your underarms anyway. And the reason I used Certain Dry was because pretty much, in elementary school, it wasn't too bad. I got teased. Middle school, high school, I just didn't. Kids weren't particularly nice to me. And that was before I was all. I would sweat in elementary school. Kids would make fun of me. And it's not because I smelled, it's because I had, the moisture on my clothes just from sweating. Middle school wasn't as bad, but then high school was really bad. And if ever I sweated, and obviously the more nervous I was, the more I sweated. So when people would make fun of me for sweating, I got even more nervous and self-conscious, and I would sweat more. And now that I'm an adult, I know that sweating is completely natural, and I know it's natural, and I knew that. But it's just not one more thing you want to get made fun of. So after, obviously, I needed a big detox after using Certain Dry for years, for probably 10 years, if not more. So that's when I came up, because baking soda is a detoxifier, so it'll pull any toxins out of your body. So that's why people go through the smelly stage, if you will, of using natural deodorants, because your body needs to detox from having all those chemicals in your body for years and years and years and years. So actually, when I made my natural deodorant, my detox wasn't bad at all. I maybe detoxed for a few days, but it wasn't anything really noticeable. And I have a great nose, and I didn't really think I really smelled at all. Forward to now, it's been over 2 years since I've used my own deodorant. And a few months ago, I started smelling the smell, and to me it smelled like cinnamon cassia, which is an essential oil. I have an Instagram post, which I'll put the link in the description, of what happened to me when I put cinnamon cassia on my skin, and I broke out in horrible welts all over my arms. And that's a very, very strong smell. The difference between cinnamon cassia and cinnamon oil: cinnamon cassia uses the leaves, the twigs, the bark, all of the tree, the cinnamon tree, and cinnamon oil, essential oil itself, just uses the leaves. Very big difference for me. So I was smelling the cinnamon cassia smell for months, and I was like, there's no way I can be detoxifying or still have cinnamon cassia on my skin. There's no way after this many months. So I had my mom smell me. And I said, hey, can you smell me? And she said, sure. So she did. She's like, oh, Kiana, that's sweat. And I was like, no, my sweat doesn't smell. And technically, sweat does not smell. It's just moisture. BO smells. Sweat does not smell. The only time sweat smells is when it turns into BO because you're releasing toxins out of your pores. So I was like, no, Mom, my sweat doesn't smell. She's like, no, Kiana, that's a smell. And I said, oh, does it smell like this? And she said, it smells like essential oils kind of gone rancid. And I said, well, that's interesting, because mine haven't. After 2 years of using my own combination, I think it's time for me to try something else, because maybe it's just not working for me as well as it was. Also, I've been on a lot of antibiotics for the past year. It'll be a year in 2 months. And so for all I know, my body can't handle it anymore, and it's just detoxing me, and it's just putting out this smell that could be antibiotics, which I've looked it up, and that's possible. Normally it actually comes out of your mouth and it's a breath form. Or if you have lung infections like I do, your breath can smell. My breath doesn't smell. I have noticed that some mornings when I wake up, I have this really, really, really bad taste in my mouth. And that's why I also do coconut pulling for the health benefits and to help with that. I'm gonna try this new natural deodorant from Sprouts. It has arrowroot powder, which I have. I haven't made a deodorant with arrowroot powder in it, but this one has it. And it only has about 6 ingredients, and I know what all of them are, so I'm okay trying it. That is my experience with natural deodorant so far. Hey, finally home with Jasper. He's gonna get him. There he is. There's his. Playing with rocks? Come on, Jess, go poo. Come on. Let's go potty. Let's go potty, mister. I'm finally home. Got my IV supplies, which was dropped off. Yes, so I will update you all about how the new natural deodorant works. It's lavender and sage, so it smells just like the one that I made, which is pretty funny. Let me check on Jasper. But as I told you, I just got home from work. I'm so exhausted I could cry. I kind of did cry when I got inside. I have homework to do, and work was just exhausting. So I will give you all an update in a few days and see how it goes. Alright, bonsoir.